This week we're going to start our look at the short game, and we're going to start with what most people would consider to be a pretty straightforward, pretty easy shot, but it's something that I see people make a lot of mistakes with, and it's something that can cost you a lot of shots during the course of a round. We're positioned here a few yards from the edge of the green. We're too far away from the green to use the putter, so we're going to have to chip the ball. Now, one of the key elements to consistent, accurate chipping, and in fact pitching as well, as we'll discover later, is the ability to deliver the club onto the ball at the correct height and with the correct shaft positions. What do I mean by that? Well, when we strike the ball with a chip shot, we need a couple of key relationships. Firstly, as we make contact with the golf ball, the club handle must be closer to the target than the club head. One of the biggest mistakes we see is a lot of people trying to scoop or lift the ball up in the air, and they finish up with a situation where the club head overtakes the club handle. This always results in thinned or fat shots. So the club shaft must be leaning forwards. The second thing is that we must strike the ball slightly on the downswing. We must strike the ball before the club reaches the bottom of its swing arc, so the ball position is changed compared to that of a full swing. So when we build the address position, we're looking for a small stance to mirror a small shot, half stance width for a half swing or less. The ball position needs to be absolutely in the center of the stance so that we can strike the back of the ball just before the swing arc. And we address the ball with the left arm and the club shaft making one solid line. Now you can see here with this club, I've got a pitching wedge here. You can see with this club we have a stick, an alignment rod attached to the back of the handle. It's just used an elastic band there just to attach that to the back of the grip. Now, the key movement in this swing is to engage the correct body pivot. So we don't want to be using the hands or the arms to deliver and manipulate the club at any stage in this swing. It's purely a swing where the shoulders control the arms and we use the correct rotational body pivot to deliver the club onto the ball. So the stick up this side of the club handle, you see when I address the ball, it's touching my lead side. And I'm going to make a swing where if I pivot my left side, the stick doesn't bang into the side of me. Okay, so we address the ball, half stance for a half swing, ball centered in the stance, shaft leaning forwards, and we simply make a small body turn, club stays below hip height, and we pivot through the shot. Now this action will deliver the club at the correct height. You'll strike ball and brush the turf. We use the loft of the club to chip the ball onto the edge of the green, and the ball will then release towards the hole. Now for those of you who are slightly better players, perhaps mid to low handicappers, distance control becomes very important to you. Perhaps have no problem striking the ball solidly, but want to accurately gauge the distance. Well, this same method will work provided you use and you learn to chip with a variety of different lofts. So that shot was played with a pitching wedge. You go up to a gap wedge or a sand wedge, the ball will pop up a little bit higher off the club face and roll less. You go down to a 9-iron, an 8-iron, even a 7-iron, the ball will release a lot further down the green. This way, from a consistency point of view, you can learn to use one stable, accurate technique. The technique stays the same every time, and you can learn to hit the ball different distances using different lofts or different clubs. Introduce this into your chipping, it'll make a big difference.